Night falls abeam cuts through the mist, revealing secrets in every shadow. Tam digs into the muddy bank, pulling out a thrashing fish with raw satisfaction. Jim hoists a colossal river catfish, proving he is the apex predator of this wild river. Wading through the route-choked mud, Tam suddenly spots a frog trapped in a snake's deadly coils. His blade hovers over the dirt in a narrow crevice. The serpent's tail betrays its hiding spot. Tam strikes with lightning speed. His bare hand clamps to snake, pinning it firmly before it can escape. The snake thrashes wildly, letting the frog escape. Tam is left holding only the small serpent. An AJ.
Tưởng rắn lớn. Rắn lớn mình bắt không dùng được.
Sam brushes off the mud, amused by his interruption. He saved a frog but cost a snake its meal. On a sunlit ridge, Tam beams at the camera. He has incredible news for his solo expedition. After days alone, he's finally contacted Han. His brother is on the way. Han crashed his bike. Though his bones are intact, severe flesh wounds kept him grounded until now. Tam's solo struggle ends with Han en route. His spirits lift as he prepares a welcome feast. To welcome his injured partner, Tam searches the dense thicket for fresh bamboo shoots.
Nữa. Măng này ngon lắm cả nhà ơi nè. Nãy tao cắt được mấy mục rồi nè.
He digs up a pristine shoot. Not common bamboo, but a rare thick stock variety prized for its sweet, crisp taste. Tam shoulders his Natome-sized shoots, heading back to tend the fire before his brother arrives. No. Is him coy.
Cái bếp muốn tàn luôn rồi nè.
Tam have to log onto the fire, but jerks his hand back in pain. A hidden ember has burned his fingers. A familiar silhouette appears on the distant slope. Tam's face lights up as he shouts, Han has finally arrived. Sweating and exhausted, Han drops his pack. He reveals a raw, circular scar on his palm, a brutal reminder of the crash that kept him off the trail. Han peels back the plastic wrap, revealing his mangled foot. The severe road rash proves his sheer will to rejoin the expedition despite the pain. Anh em. Nay, vui.
Tối đi hai anh em mình đi. Tối anh em đi. Thì tối anh em mình lội.
Pointing toward the darkening ridge, Tam lays out the night's battle plan. The river is too low for fishing, so they're pivoting to the forest floor to hunt for giant mountain snails. Han tests the ham extension while Tam tightens the ropes. The structure holds firm, securing their camp for the night. Tam spots a spiraled shell in the leaf litter. He pries out a rock snail, starting their harvest with a double catch. Tam cradles the hofty snails, marveling at their size. These forest-raised delicacies are a premium catch.
Mấy chỗ này cũng thường có dữ lắm à. Không có mà có con ốc thì chà bá đóng luôn á.
Look on. A headlamp pierces the gloom. Tam spots Han stripped to the waist and muddy, looking less like a city guy and more like a true son of the jungle. Tam reaches into the dark, hollow base of an ancient tree and pulls out another massive snail. Han's excited shout pierces the trees. He found a nest of forest shrimp in rotting wood. Tam drops his gear and sprints over to see.
Con nhỏ. Cái nhà nhìn kỹ trên cái thành này nó đưa râu ra nè.
Tam sees the tiny
shrimp and decides to let them grow. He respects nature, leaving the young ones safe in their mossy home. At the roaring fire, Tam blanches toxins from the shoots. Above, the smoked fish turns a perfect gold. Oil floods to hot pan garlic sizzles. Instantly smoked fish hits the grease with a deafening crackle, sealing in the smoky flavor. Fished from the bubbling oil, the fish is a masterpiece of culinary survival. The skin is blistered and crisp, glowing with a rich, deep brown hue that promises an explosive crunch. Lifting the lid reveals a cloud of fragrant, steaming white rice. Tam scoops a generous mound onto a fresh, broad green leaf, transforming a simple staple into a rustic jungle feast.
Tối nay thì mấy anh em
And before eating, Tam places the leaf-wrapped offering at an ancient tree space. He bows in silent reverence to the mountain spirits. Han eats with the hunger of a man starved. Crisp fish and savory broth fill the humid air. Han devours the crispy fish and sweet shoe broth, savoring each bite with ravenous delight as the flavors wash away his exhaustion. Belly's full. The brothers gear up for the night hunt. Tam tries to coax Han into a shirt, but he insists on going bare-chested, eager to feel the jungle's raw pulse against his skin.
không cho nhiều khi đi cọ quẹt cây đồ không á. Giờ Tâm với em Hạnh bắt đầu đi, mời cả nhà cùng trải nghiệm đi săn đêm.
The high beam locks on pale fungi pushing through the dark soil. Tam drops to his knees, carefully plucking a rare termite mushroom from the earth. Tam lifts the massive prize, grinning proudly at its sheer length. Tam stops Han from using a knife. He demands a stick to pry the buds from the soil intact. The wooden pry bar does its job. Tam lifts a flawless mud-caked stem from the pit. It's a perfect catch, confirming they've struck gold in this hidden fungal hotspot.
Đúng kiếm búp này nhỏ em. Chỗ này hơi khó. Cái này là một hồi nữa nó còn lên nữa đó Hạnh. Ôi đã quá.
With a final gentle twist, Tam extracts the longest, most pristine bud of the night. He hands the mud-draped prize to Han. Knowing this single mushroom will elevate their midnight noodle soup to legendary status. Piling their gleaming white harvest onto a leaf, Tam surveys their bounty. But the jungle is a shared economy right next to the pristine fungi. He spots the telltale bite marks of a snail, a reminder that they aren't the only ones foraging tonight. Sealing the transparent bag of termite mushrooms, Tam's mind is already on the campfire. A quick stir-fry tossed with noodles is the only logical fate for these forest treasures. Tam spots a snail by the roots. Hen rushes over and together they corner the giant mountain snail before it can retreat. Em con.
Bự ghê luôn nè.
Rồi bỏ túi đi em. Anh đây cũng được.
Hi, con. Leaving the venomous camel spider to its business, Han digs into the damp earth and unearths two more plump snails. Tam holds the green net wide open, ready to swallow their growing haul. As snails pile up, Tam pauses to note the shift with Han beside him. A grueling solo track becomes a thrilling, shared adventure, doubling both the catch and the joy. Rain begins to hammer the leaves as Tam reaches peak harvest, his hands already clutching 3 or 4 snails in the storm-fueled bounty. Cupping a small mountain of writhing shells, Tam grins through the downpour. The sheer volume in his hands dwarfs last night's catch, proving that the jungle rewards those who brave the storm.
Đã ha.
Mới bắt xíu.
Sao vui không? Vui không?
Vui ghê luôn á.
Yeah. Hey, model, the drizzle escalates into a torrential downpour, slicking the forest floor with visibility dropping fast. Tam makes the call to retreat to the tarp shelter. They dive under the neon tarp as the sky opens up. The roar of rain on plastic drowns out everything. But inside the dry sanctuary, they secure their gear. To kill time, Tam shows off his survival trump card, a massive 50,000 mAh power bank. In the wild, this brick of lithium keeps the camera alive and the expedition documented. Han's eyes light up at the sight of the glowing power bank, his earlier fatigue melting away with the storm, showing no signs of stopping, but the gear fully charged. They agree to suit up in raincoats the second the downpour eases while Han wrings out his soaked sandals. Tam checks the tension on the tarp skylines. The shelter holds firm against the gale, a fragile but reliable bubble of safety in the heart of the tempest. The rainy as to a drizzle dam slashes through weeds, revealing a snail hotspot. He scoops up 2, then 3 more in rapid fire. The rain-scented air is free. Fresh Tan lifts a heavy handful of shells, praising the mountain snail as a delicious gift from the forest. Tam calls out. Han emerges from the gloom bag heavy with prizes and they converge to share their storm-fueled bounty. Han tips his bag to reveal a squirming mass of giant snails. Tam nods in approval, impressed by the storm's bounty.
Tụi bự có mình bắt hoài luôn. Em Hạnh thì hướng bên đây nè, đó, đèn sáng cả nhà.
Now Tam shines his light under the log and spots a rock snail. He pries it from the bark, and it quickly seals its shell. But the jungle holds more than snails. In the harsh light sits a monstrous toad. Its warty body nearly the size of Tam's fist. A true forest heavyweight. Tam shouts to Han, pointing out the giant toad. They marvel at how everything on this mountain grows to massive proportions. Tam pauses at a cluster of tiny white fungi probing the cap. He identifies them as tough gilled mushrooms, a local edible variety adding to their foraging success.
Hèn con gì đây? Có hả? Đục bươu đỏ hả?
Shedding the soaked blue raincoat, Tam pulls on a dry red tee and steps back into the dripping abyss. The storm has passed, leaving behind a hyperactive ecosystem ready to be harvested. He pauses by low ferns. The flashlight beam reveals a stunning sight. The forest floor is carpeted with brown snail shells clustered in the damp air. Tam opens his hand, revealing a writhing cluster of shells. He marvels at the density the jungle served this feast on a silver platter. Standing up with a palm full of slick prizes, Tam hollers for hand. He needs his partner to see the absolute motherlode they've stumbled upon in this tiny 2-square-foot patch of dirt. Oh. Hi B.
4, 6, 7 con. Chỗ 7 con á.
Wedged deep inside a rocky crevice at the base of a giant tree, a massive snail clings to the wet stone. Tam wedges his fingers in and slowly pries the heavyweight loose, adding a true behemoth to the collection. Overloaded with shells, Tam leaves his machete and wades to hand to offload the heavy haul. Peering into a fissure, Tam spots a leviathan snail. Its massive shell defies belief, prompting him to declare the king of the rocks. As night falls, Tam sweeps a final patch, snatching 3 more snails in rapid succession. The bag is full. The harvest is complete.
Ôi, nhiều à. Đuối rồi. Rồi, nhiều không? Ôi ôi, túi luôn nè. Quá đã. Bữa nay trải nghiệm bắt ốc đá cảm giác.
The adrenaline finally fades, replaced by the bone-chilling dampness of the late-night jungle. Shivering, Tam calls for Han. They need to get back to the shelter, strip off the wet gear, and warm up before hypothermia sets in. Back in the safety of the camp, Tam hoists the dripping green net. The sheer dragging weight of it confirms a monumental success over 2 kilos of premium mountain snails. Secured for the feast. He holds the bag up to the light, the brown mottled shells clinking together with a heavy, satisfying rattle. It's the sound of pure, unadulterated survival triumph. Tam zips into his hammock safe inside the mosquito net. He flashes a triumphant grin at the camera, ending a grueling day.
Sao? Trời ơi, sao đúng rồi? Em cũng không biết nữa.
The next morning, Tam pulls a handful of the scrubbed, gleaming snails from the bag. Their shells, now clean and polished, look like precious stones ready for the cooking pot. But the expedition isn't over yet. Holding up a spool of stark white fishing line, Tam's expression turns serious. He announces a tough call. They are breaking camp and heading out a day early. Hand washes his swollen raw foot in the river. The pain from the worsening rash is simply too much to ignore. Camp dismantled, bag shouldered, Tam gives a final thumbs up. He thanks his fans and wishes them good health for joining the journey. Trong video.
Chào cả nhà. Dạ em ơi.